So we are now at the point where we can start getting the engine out of our motorcycle. So we've had a few issues where the motorcycle nuts were seized. So I did a full video explaining 10 ways to help you get seized nuts out. But in this one, we're actually getting our motorcycle restored. This is a Honda 1972 motorcycle. It's a great opportunity to get an old bike back on the road and have it work for us, see how well it performs. Can we use a really old motorcycle for daily use? Will it work well on motorway speeds? We'll all find out, see how it goes. It's quite a heavy motorcycle, this one. However, getting it out, we drained the old we drained the old oil. We checked everything we could check in terms of the motorcycle, and we're working on getting this back on the road. But what will happen is once we get the engine out, there's a lot of work that we need to do on the engine. So you may have seen little elements of where I've been looking at the pistons. We've been looking at the boring of the bores to make sure the new rings line up. We looked at the compression on the motorcycle, but we had a problem because a seized bolt would not let us take the engine out. So we've done a lot of work on that and got the seized bolt finally out. So the whole engine's now away from the frame. So we can actually look at sorting out the frame, the wheels, everything else that needs painting on this and restoring. But here we're taking the side case off so we can actually look at getting everything sorted out. So what that means is when the case comes off, we can see what the condition is like inside there. Is the clutch okay? Have we got clutch plates okay? And also getting the whole engine out and giving it a good clean and even doing maybe a bottom end restore. So we look at the starter motor, we look along the lines of, is there any more work needed to be done on this to get it in good condition? We've already got a new head gasket kit, so we're working on all of that to get that back onto standard. So you can see here with the side case, it kind of has a seal, a gasket. So once we pop this off, we can see straight inside that, and the gasket was quite shot. So we need to get a new gasket on there. And the clutch is spinning, so we've got a good free movement there. And as we work through this, the whole engine was removed nice and easily in this video, it looks like, but it took 3 days. Remember that bolt in the bottom that we had caused us a lot of issues, but the engine, even without the topper header bores and the tappets and everything on top, it was still quite a heavy little system here now. So it makes you think newer engines are a lot lighter than what the old ones are. So you can see here now, there's where we removed the bolt from. And there's a lot of rust behind the frame. The engine needs a lot of cleaning. So we're going to go through a process here of getting the engine cleaned up. Here's where that bolt was. We still have it stuck in the bottom, but obviously we'll use the angle grinder and get that out as well and see how far we get. Now, we did a good little video where I explained some good degreasers. You can get loads of chemical degreasers on Amazon that can help you clean it up. But I found that using washing up liquid, warm water, vinegar, and soda crystals, things like baking soda you call it, things like that, and that gives you like a nice mix that allows you to spray it on, let it sit and brush it off. And all this years of chain oil, chain lube that was just disgustingly greasy, that would not go anywhere, was able to be removed with this mixture. Nothing fancy. I took the sprocket off to have a look behind there to give it a good old clean. So we've got the majority of the engine parts looking at their best. There are a few things that need attention. So I've got some JB weld, which will help us weld little bits on that have over the process broken off the engine. You'll see a separate video about that and explain how that works for you. And you can see how we managed to get the bolt out. Because the bolt was so seized, I had to actually use angle grinder to get the bottom and cut it out. So that means there's a bit of extra work that needs to be done here, but the engine is out, it's clean. I've got the head gasket off and I've got the main gasket off. We've done the piston work. We're looking at getting new pistons, which weren't excellent. And as we've got the clutch cover off and we're looking inside the clutch, we're going to have a look at the plates and see if there's anything that needs to be changed or replaced there as well. So it's a full-on rebuild. We've got the bores. We cleaned out the bore cylinder head as well. So we used some jet wash. We used the same degrease material DIY at home. So the mix that we used, warm water. I've got the engine taken apart as well. A big chunk of this I filmed on the action camera as a time lapse, and I'll put that in as a separate video so you can see all of that. So these are all videos as I progress. So this is live with me, not live. You're probably about 2 weeks out. So this video you're seeing, I'm actually 2 weeks ahead of what you're seeing right here. So as I'm doing things, I am putting out videos as we go. So at each point I'm doing maybe 4 or 5 videos a day. So as you're seeing this, I am actually further ahead than you think I am. And I'm putting out videos scheduled so you can see roughly one every other day. At some point, you will actually see the end motorcycle before these videos are finished. But I will also do a time lapse of the whole process like I did the part 1 of getting this far. I'll do a part 2 of getting all the engine done and everything sprayed and painted as well, because we've got a lot of visual work that we need to do on the tank and all the bits. These are all the engine bolts from the bottom of the engine. They're very interesting. There's different size lengths for different sections, so I thought I'd make a video, because the main event here is me making a video diary of this, so when I put it back together I remember, oh yeah, I recorded that, let's have a look at that video that I made. And also it's interesting to see a motorcycle restore where you can sit there and watch a motorcycle restore in like 45 minutes of video. It's very pleasing to see that, because in true life it actually took more than 3 weeks to get to that 45-minute video stage. So hopefully if we continue at our current pace, you should be seeing this motorcycle back on the road. We've got a new starter motor coming, because when we took the starter motor off, the head actually broke and snapped inside the engine. And that's another testament to these old motorcycles, because they're so old and not many people service regularly. You actually get bits that don't come out and don't come off. So you can see here just behind the bolts there, the actual starter motor ridge was still in the frame, which I had to end up drilling out. So that was a bit of a pain, but we have to roll with the punches. As these things happen, you need to find a solution and work with it. That's the main interesting part about working on old motorcycles. Some bits you think will take really long are very quick, and little things that are random, oh I'll just take that bolt out, oh no, that's not how it works. A little bolt like that will fuse to the engine, so you'll have to actually use heat and all sorts to try and get it out, and that never goes down well. So that's something to keep in mind with these types of restores. We are getting to a point now where we've got the engine out, we're working on the engine, and soon we will be rebuilding this, checking the compression, getting it back in the frame. But before that, the frame needs to be repainted as well, so don't forget that. If you're enjoying this series, make sure to subscribe so you actually get notifications directly to your phone each time I load a new episode. I've got loads of videos planned for this bike when we get it back on the road, so it'd be good to have you along on the journey with me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video right here.